I would like to share with you a bit of the ISSC action teamwork from 2018-2019, where substantial progress was made in that year in terms of understanding the success and equity work of the committee. In that year, the committee developed essentially a working theory of how student success works at SRJC. A lot of that work was based on some groundbreaking work done by the RP group. The RP group studied 10,000 community college students in California and really put the student voice at the center of this work. After interviewing them, they reviewed them for common factors and themes, and it became clear that 6 factors of success were identified by students. That if they were directed and focused, if they were valued and nurtured, and connected and engaged, they felt they made it to successful completion when these factors were present. The work of the committee during that year looked at the RP research and also um, merging understanding at the college that had already begun around what it meant to welcome, guide, and engage all students. And in the review of all this work, the committee believed that the synergies between the work were quite profound. And each of the action teams, 3 of them, took up each of the work of these 3 different areas and developed what they believe are the components of successful students. When students are invited and welcomed, guided and supported, engaged and empowered, they succeed and complete. And the components, as you can see, are often related to the RP work. Valued and connected in this case, for invited and welcomed, and those concepts were embedded in the work of the various groups. You can see how that might work here, where the invited and welcome group came up with the connection below to the RP work and above what the SRJC outcome statements or definitions, what a student would look like when they had been invited and welcomed. Um, so that the outcome statements, all students feel a sense of belonging and a part of the community at SRJC, and the welcome, that all students are introduced to campus activities, support services, and academic programs, define what an invited and welcome student would look like. It became clear that this was actually a logic model or a theory of how student success works at the college. And you can see that theory here, that if we invite and welcome our students, if we guide and support them, if we engage and empower them, students succeed and complete. That's simple and as profound as it is. This graphic itself expresses how this model works together, that teaching and learning is our foundation, but the pillars of welcome, guiding, and engaged students really hold them up in all the domains where they operate at the college, our campus culture, our programs, our services, our classrooms, to eventually succeed and complete when all these elements are present. The committee further delved into the question of domain. Where do students engage with the college, in what areas? And so obviously the classroom is the primary method in and around the classroom, but obviously we also have programs and projects that engage and interact with students in the college, as well as services that are intentionally aimed to support them. And finally, the informal environment, the culture of the college, also has an impact, and the committee wanted to recognize that that can be impacted as well in an intentional manner. Further, students have a life cycle. It was very well recognized that students are different and have different needs as they move into the college with onboarding in their first year. In subsequent years, they may have different needs of guiding and supporting them, and then finally, very different needs as they complete their college career and move into post-graduation and a 4-year college perhaps, or into a job where they might need other support, alumni support. This is an example of how complicated, of course, if you see the interactions of these, can become. Invited and welcome, how does it work in the classroom, program, services, and culture? What are the activities and practices around them? And then even more, interaction when you put in the timeline of a student. What does invited and welcome look like in the services that we provide in the first year as opposed to subsequent years and even in the final years. That concludes my summary of ISSC Action Teamwork in 2018-2019.